A journey into yogic mind. In 2007, while studying philosophy and interdisciplinary studies at university, I flew to India on my summer break, not to party or sightsee, but to find something real, something deeper. I was in search of authenticity, authentic food, authentic music, and most of all, authentic yoga. Finding the food was easy. Each region of India surprised me with flavors I had never imagined. But when it came to music, I realized that even here, modernity had left its mark. In Mumbai, pop and rock mixed with Indian melodies filled the air. It took time to locate a classical Indian music concert. But when I did, I felt the difference immediately. The instruments, the structure, the intention. Everything was more focused, more ancient. You could feel the layers built up over centuries. I wanted a yoga practice that felt the same. I journeyed to Mysore, where I lined up before dawn outside the school of Patanjali, the legendary founder of Ashtanga Yoga. Inside, I felt like I had reached the source, the root of yoga practice. I practiced, trained, and after years of daily work, became a certified teacher. And yet, something kept bothering me. The further I went, the more I sensed that this yoga, too, might be more like the musical pop of Mumbai. Stylized, adapted, modernized, than the classical tradition I had set out to find. That's when I encountered the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. Written over 2,000 years ago, these short verses are not a manual for the body, they are a framework for the mind. Patanjali doesn't teach postures, he teaches perception. He shows us how to observe, reflect, and disconnect from the layers that cover our deeper selves. Through his system, I learned about Asmita, the egoic identity we all live inside. I also encountered Atman, the self that goes beyond thoughts, beyond reactions. Have you ever reacted to something without really understanding why? Ever felt triggered, unable to stop yourself? According to Patanjali, those triggers come from ashayaya, residues of past impressions stored deep inside us. These form the foundation of our reactions. When we identify with our body, our mind, our emotions, we are caught in Asmita. The yoga described in the sutras aims to shift our identity from Asmita to Atman. This process isn't about performance. It's not about perfecting a headstand or strengthening the head. It's about developing the mind. I once watched a movie called Faster. In it, a violent assassin finishes his yoga session and tells his girlfriend, "I beat yoga." That one line says a lot about how modern Western culture sees yoga as a tool for self-optimization, a workout to help us perform better, compete harder, win more. But Patanjali's yoga isn't about beating anything. It's about freedom, kaivalya. Freedom from compulsions. Freedom from identities that no longer serve us. Freedom from suffering, rooted in misunderstanding. It's about succeeding without competing. Acting from your true nature in a way that brings benefit. Not because you're chasing it, but because you've stopped chasing altogether. During the pandemic lockdown, I began writing Vivekanimnan. It grew out of my personal journey, my studies in philosophy, the injury that forced me to adapt my practice, and the questions that kept surfacing during my Ashtanga training. Why are we using Western psychology terms like ego to explain an Indian system? What would it mean to go back, not just to the roots of modern postural yoga, but deeper, to the roots of yogic consciousness? Vivekanimnan means the subtle bending of distinction. It's a guide to practicing yoga with the mind, not just the body. It invites you to examine your reactions, your attachments, and your sense of self. The book explores how yoga has been filtered through a Western lens, returns to Patanjali, and interprets the Yoga Sutras with integrity. It offers practical tools for meditative and contemplative practice, even when your body isn't at its peak. This book isn't here to replace your yoga practice. It's here to expand it, to remind us that yoga is more than postures. It's a journey inward. Yoga begins when we close our eyes, when we listen deeply, when we learn to respond instead of react, when we start to see the difference between who we think we are and who we truly are. Transform your yoga, transform yourself. Join me in exploring what yoga can truly be and how its deeper wisdom can live within your practice. In a world where yoga is often seen as a set of movements, it's time to reconnect with the mind. This book is your guide to rediscovering yoga, not just as physical practice, but as holistic transformation. Vivekananda. Distinction. Bending yoga.